How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Family. We are back with another FPL video, and today we're going to be talking about Pep Roulette. That's right, we're back with another episode of Pep Roulette, where we try to guess what lineup Pep Guardiola is going to put out for his next Premier League fixture. For this week, it's going to be Game Week 21, where they have Sheffield United at home. What would seem to be in a very easy fixture on paper, but Man United have slipped up against them 2-1 at home themselves. So we'll see if Pep Guardiola puts out a very strong lineup indeed. If you are enjoying these videos, make sure to give it a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new or enjoying the content, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And drop us a follow over on Twitter and Twitch, where you can get all the updates for any content that's going out and get notified for when we go live over on Twitch for our FPL streams. We will be doing one tomorrow for the Game Week 21 preview. So all the games will have finished. For Game Week 20, we could take a look at how we did in Game Week 20 and look at our predictions and what we're going to be doing transfer-wise for Game Week 21 over on Twitch, 7 p.m. EST. There'll be a pinned comment down below so that you can see what time that exactly is for you. So without further ado, let's see how Pep Guardiola lined up in Game Week 20. So this is the team that Pep Guardiola put out versus West Brom away in their 5-0 thrashing of the team that could potentially be in the bottom three at the end of the season. And it should look familiar to you if you watched last week's episode. I got it exactly right. I even got the potential subs that were going to come on too, because I think Jesus, Torres, and Laporte all were subs that actually came on. So all of the players that you see on the team here, I got exactly right, which is, you know, I like to take credit for it, but again, Pep's very hard to predict, and I think that's the first time I've actually done it anyway. But it made sense if when you look at it. Cancelo's been playing extremely well. Walker was kind of, you know, a bit doubtful for the game. Maybe he comes back in and Cancelo moves over to left back versus Sheffield United. We'll have to see on that. Zinchenko looked fantastic. Bernardo got 2 assists, I believe. Gündoğan getting a brace. And you see which his valuable players are. At the 50 or 50th minute or thereabouts, he brought off Gündoğan and he brought off Foden. He immediately took them off because, like, these two guys are the guys creating things. These are the two guys that are making things happen. And then Bernardo Silva came off, like, not shortly after that as well. So he brought those guys up because he knows that those are the guys in form and the ones that he can trust right now, and it would make sense for them to start again coming into Game Week 21 as well. And I think the standout players in the game, I thought Foden was very unlucky not to get a return. Gündoğan was fantastic. I thought Cancelo and Zinchenko, they basically, the way that the team shaped up is they brought on Laporte, and they basically just played 3 center backs. They played Stones, Diaz, and Laporte in a back 3. They took Cancelo and Zinchenko and they put Roger alongside them and made another flat 3. And then they just had a front 4, basically, which was just constantly interchanging, sometimes one dropping into the hole. And there was a lot of spread points returned around. You know, Mahrez got a goal assist. Bernardo, I think, got 2 assists. Sterling, goal assist. Foden was unlucky not to get anything. Gündoğan with the brace. Cancelo with a goal assist. A clean sheet for Man City. So all things are rosy on the blue side of Manchester. West Brom, not really up for the fight there. They got pulled apart, really. City really showed their class. Laporte being back fit is good and may bring some, you know, potential rotation into the league, but I don't see it happening. I think Laporte's probably going to play more in towards the league when Champions League rolls around, because Pep knows that Diaz and Stones are his 2 main guys, and we'll see if there's any rotation there. Maybe Stones is probably the only one that I can see getting rested. Probably once out of these next 3 games, but if Stones can play the next 3 games, then it's likely that Laporte will play in the FA Cup game that they have to follow after the 3 game weeks. I think it's 3 or 4 game weeks, whatever it may be. And maybe he brings off Stones or Diaz early. Like, let's say they're 3-4-0 up, and just like he took off Gündoğan and Foden and Bernardo Silva, maybe he starts taking off Diaz and Stones and them after like the 60 or so minute mark, just to give them a little bit of a run out and just to maintain basically, you know, kind of freshness in the team. But Diaz doesn't seem to be getting dropped. Cancelo's too important creative wise, and I think that Gündoğan and Foden are great FPL assets at the moment. Like I said, Foden was very unlucky not to get anything. Gündoğan looks excellent. He's gone up in price a few times now, and he could be one of the players that we talk about on the 3 that we have chosen for this week. But let's see who was the star of the show, in my opinion, for this game week. So João Cancelo is that player that was just absolutely brilliant. Clean sheet, Goal, assist, never stopped running, played a multitude of different positions in terms of where he took up his kind of place on the field. There were times where he's basically center forward. There was times he was out on the left, out on the right, center midfield, number 10 role, attacking right side 8, attacking left side 8. He did everything basically, and his heat map should be just a picture of a GOAT, because he is the GOAT of FPL for this week. At least 17 points. Considered captaining him. Didn't have the balls to do it. Maybe next time I just got to go with that gut instinct. I've seen a few people on Twitter who have, and if you did, I mean, you're looking pretty good, especially after Bruno Fernandes's blank tonight as well. Still have to see what Son and Salah and Kane have to do in tomorrow's game, but Cancelo was absolutely fantastic, and I think he just can't be dropped. Like, he got his rest versus Crystal Palace in quick succession. Pep's already come out and said many of times that he regenerates well, and he's extremely fit. He also came out after the game versus West Brom, where they beat them 5-0. He said that Cancelo, he's bedded well into the team now. He knows his role, and he can play a multitude of roles, and it suits him basically perfectly, is pretty much what he said. And I think that Cancelo playing in that inside kind of attacking midfield role is very good, because he's very quick, which means he can press in the middle of the pitch, which is a lot dangerous, more dangerous for the opposition, because fullbacks typically quite quick, but are often out on the flanks. And when you press out on the flanks, you can get away with not being as quick, because there's less space for the player to go. They can either run the ball out of touch, or they have to come in field. Whereas if they're in the center of the pitch, they can go to your left, to your right, between your legs. They can go a bunch of different ways. Having someone like him in the middle of the pitch who's super quick, very good at pressing, very good at passing the ball very quickly, is a good asset for Pep Guardiola. So I don't see him getting dropped anytime soon. He's going to be the defender to bring in out of all the Man City ones. We've been saying this the whole's coming, and it finally came. 17 points for Cancelo this week. So let's also take a look at the other fullback, who you might not think is the most obvious choice for an FPL asset, but has been posting good stats and has been part of these clean sheets in the past few game weeks. And Zinchenko is that player that we were talking about. Look at these points down below. Very steady. 8 points, 6 points, 6 points, 6 points. He is 0.4 less than Diaz. He's 0.4 less than Cancelo, and is away into the City clean sheet as it stands. Now, will that be consistent going forward? Maybe, maybe not. Does he favor Walker in some games? He might do, which means Zinchenko is probably a bit of a risk. But at the time being, I don't see any reason for Zinchenko to get dropped. I mean, he was creating quite good space down the left-hand side with Foden. He was also creating chances down that side as well. Also, when Laporte came on, basically him and Cancelo just kind of went into a midfield two, and we're just basically playing like David Silva and De Bruyne did, just kind of spraying the ball all over the park, pretty comfortable in possession, and they played really, really well. And they complement each other, obviously, in midfield, because one's left-footed, one's right-footed, and it makes it so that you have the full array of passes between the two of them. Yes, he is more of a rotation risk, but I think if you would have said Zinchenko is going to get 4 clean sheets in the next 4, I would have been like, you're crazy. He's going to play Walker, he's going to play Cancelo. Even if Walker is out for maybe 1 game, Cancelo's not playing 4 games in a row. And he has, so, and he's done quite well. I don't think Pep trusts Mendy, and I think Mendy suits the European game a little bit better just because he's a bit more attacking. I think where teams are a bit more open, Zinchenko provides a little bit more stability defensively than Mendy does. With Cancelo playing in a left back and Walker playing a right back, obviously Zinchenko doesn't play. But I think that Walker, he's past 30 now, I believe. I think he's either 30, 31, or 32. He's in the early 30s. He's got his pace, but his decision making hasn't been the greatest this season, and he's starting to pick up injuries every now and again. And Zinchenko is quite young, and I think they did like an age profile across the Man City backline. I think Zinchenko's like 23 or 24. With Laporte, when he came on, he's only like 23, 24. Diaz is 23. Stones is 26. Cancelo's similar age. They have a very, very young set of players that are playing down the back. So hopefully they can keep this chemistry going and get us a lot of FPL points, because I have triple City defense, and it's the most nerve-wracking thing having 3 defenders in the same game, and the clean sheet could have gone in the first few minutes, because West Brom definitely could have scored in the opening few. But it's very nerve-wracking to see when you have 3 defenders and you don't want the clean sheet to go. But obviously, if they do concede, then it is just the one game I have to worry about for clean sheets. But yeah, overall, I think Zinchenko is quite good and could be a bit of a differential pick. And he was my differential pick for this week. So glad to see that he did well. And we got that one right. But lastly, let's take a look at the man that everyone's probably looking to buy in and potentially could have been a better asset than Kevin De Bruyne this season. And it's the man in form right now, İlkay Gündoğan. He's probably top 3 favorite players that play for other clubs. Gündoğan, Robertson, and probably Grealish are probably up. Those are probably my 3 most favorite from other clubs that obviously aren't Manchester United players, because that's the club I support. But Gündoğan's definitely at the top of that list. 5.7 million at the moment, 8 points, 10 points, 14 points. Just, it doesn't get any better than that. He only played 51 minutes, comes on, yeah, I'll just score a brace, and then I'll, let the rest of the lads do it. I've done my work here. You can tell that he, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Sterling, these players in there with Cancelo, they're creating a pattern of play which is causing teams problems. They're creating chances, they're creating openings in defense, and they're just shredding teams to bits. With the stability of Stones and Diaz down the back, Gündoğan has the license to get forward. Cancelo and Zinchenko, or whoever's playing in at fullback, can cover in the center of the pitch, where he's not necessarily the quickest player, but his footwork is amazing. His second goal, where he just nicked it off the player and then just slotted it into the bottom corner, I believe he used his weak foot, which is his left foot, was fantastic as well. He's just been the man in form. And if you were somebody who brought in Gündoğan, that was my other potential move this week, was to bring in Gündoğan as a straight swap for the likes of KDB. Just a straight swap. And he was somebody that I was going to potentially captain over the likes of Fernandes. Obviously, Fernandes blank, in hindsight's 2020. But if you did captain Gündoğan, good on you. The stats showed that if Gündoğan was, let's say hypothetically, Gündoğan was the same price as Sterling, there'd be no question you would bring in Gündoğan over Sterling every day of the week, because the stats showed that Gündoğan was doing better in terms of getting more shots in the box, his positioning, the eye test, all that sort of stuff. And for the large parts of the game, Sterling ran into a bit of trouble in terms of chance creation and getting his shots away, whereas Gündoğan didn't, and was quite clinical in that. Obviously, Sterling still ended up with a goal and assist, and I think maybe 1 bonus point. He may have been just short of that, but Gündoğan, definitely the asset to get if you're looking for a City attacker. He seems to be undroppable at the moment, especially the way that they're playing this system. Whether that stays true when, everyone's fully fit, we will see. Right now, when Kevin De Bruyne is out, it seems like we were all questioning, will City have problems creating chances? Definitely not. Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Gündoğan, Cancelo, they're all contributing, and I think that he's definitely the attacker to have if you're going to go for a Man City attacker in the next few weeks. So this is how I think Pep Guardiola is going to line up for game week 21 versus Sheffield United at home. Yeah, it's the same lineup. I don't think there's any reason that Pep Guardiola should change it. I know he's a man of tinkering. I know he is a man to change things around. But the early substitutions of Foden, of Gündoğan, and then of Bernardo Silva, I think he's pretty much going to go the same team. The only one that I would probably say would potentially come into the team is Gabriel Jesus. And that would either be for Mars or Sterling. I can definitely see that, but I don't see any reason why you would take any of either Sterling or Mars off. Pep Roulette said, if you score, you're more likely chance of keeping your place. Well, Mars got a goal and assist, and Sterling got a goal and assist, if I remember correctly, so I don't see them, not playing. He took off Foden quite early when the game was pretty much out of hand. Definitely wasn't a resting thing. Foden he's what, 18, 19, whatever he is, 20 maybe. He's got plenty of energy. He can play, midweek, weekend for several weeks on hand and be perfectly fine. Gündoğan definitely more preserving. He's had long-term injuries in the past, and has finally, kept a consistent run of form in the team, and it's been injury-free, which is good for him. I think he's in his early 30s. Bernardo Silva, again, just to rotate some players, but the back four should stay the same. Stones and Diaz have played midweek, weekend, so they've been doing quite well. Ederson's not going to get changed out either. I think Zinchenko just provides more stability at the back, which Pep seems to be prioritizing clean sheets over just blasting teams away, and the results show that. Zinchenko defensively has been better than both Walker and Mendy, so if you want to swap Cancelo to the right-hand side and say, is it a or to the left-hand side and say, is Zinchenko better defensively than Walker? I don't think that's been the case. I think Zinchenko's done quite well when he's come in. So, and then the key impact subs, Jesus, like I said, could potentially come in for Mars or Sterling. I don't see it happening. I think this system will do wonders versus Sheffield United. Something that United couldn't do tonight versus Sheffield United was basically have that guy that kind of bobs in and out and pulls the back three apart. And this system keeps the width. You'll have Foden on one side, you'll have Sterling on the other side, and then you have Mars, Bernardo, Gündoğan, and Cancelo kind of creating these little pockets of space, creating these different mixtures and combinations of triangles to kind of pull the Sheffield United players around, with Foden and Sterling on either side kind of stretching the width. Because if you leave them isolated 1v1, Foden's going to breeze past them, Sterling will breeze past them. If Mars is out there, he'll breeze past them. Same with Bernardo Silva. You just can't give those guys space because they can easily find a pass. And Gündoğan arriving late in the box is one of his best attributes. Same with Bernardo Silva, is quite good at that as well. And you wouldn't bet against João Cancelo hitting one from outside the box too, because if you give him time, we'll see what happens when people switch off. Obviously, in the West Brom game, he just put it straight into the top corner because they thought he was the play was offside. But that's why you play until the whistle. The referee didn't blow the whistle, and he did exactly what you're supposed to. Yeah, I think Pep should name he's going to name an unchanged team. Only one I can see him bringing in is Gabriel Jesus. Aguero still has to self-isolate, I believe, because I don't think he has a negative test as of yet. And then would still have to get back to fitness because he hasn't been fit for basically the whole season. So we'll still have to wait on that. But yeah, I think an unchanged team is what Pep's going to name for this game week. And that's going to do it for our Game Week 21 edition of Pep Roulette. If you're enjoying the series and liking the videos, make sure to hit the like button. Show your appreciation for the videos. It greatly helps grow the channel. And subscribe to the channel if you are new. That helps out as well. Turn those notification bells on so that you can also get the content as soon as it is readily available. Also, make sure to follow us over on Twitter, where you keep up to date with all the content that is coming out, as well as our predictions, our lineup news, all that sort of stuff is posted over on Twitter, and to follow over on Twitch, where we do our FPL live streams. You can go over there, drop us a follow. We'll be doing a stream tomorrow live, 7 p.m. EST, for our Game Week 21 preview. We'll see how we did in Game Week 20, and we'll go through our predictions and normal stuff that we do and potential transfers for Game Week 21. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.